Sustainability, Organic, ESG and Responsible Business Solutions, URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited. Welcome to URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited. In today's competitive global business environment, sustainability has become an essential part of responsible and successful business management. Organizations are increasingly expected to address environmental responsibility, social responsibility, ethical sourcing, sustainable production, supply chain transparency, climate-related risks, and effective governance. At the same time, customers, international buyers, and business partners are looking for greater transparency and credible evidence of sustainable practices. This creates a growing need for professional training, consultancy, implementation support, and certification readiness solutions. At URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited, we support organizations and professionals in developing the knowledge, systems, and capabilities required to address today's sustainability and responsible business challenges. Our professional solutions cover a broad range of areas including organic agriculture, sustainable agriculture, responsible sourcing, sustainable supply chains, environmental claims, sustainable cosmetics, sustainable textiles, food quality and safety, fair trade, CSR, ESG, climate change, biodiversity, circular economy, sustainable materials, organic farming inputs, traceability, and certification readiness. Let's look at these areas in detail. Organic agriculture. Organic agriculture is becoming increasingly important in global food and agricultural markets. URGS provides professional training and consultancy-oriented support covering the fundamental principles of organic agriculture and the practical requirements associated with organic production. Our programs can address areas such as organic farming practices, soil management, crop protection, organic inputs, conversion requirements, traceability, processing, storage, transportation, labeling, documentation, and certification requirements. These programs can benefit farmers, producer organizations, agricultural companies, food processors, exporters, importers, retailers, consultants, and quality professionals. The objective is to help organizations understand applicable requirements and develop practical systems for maintaining product integrity and traceability. Now, sustainable agriculture. Sustainability in agriculture goes beyond organic production. It involves responsible management of natural resources while maintaining productivity and supporting environmental and social responsibility. URGS training and consultancy solutions can address sustainable agriculture practices including soil health, water conservation, responsible resource utilization, biodiversity protection, pollution prevention, responsible agricultural inputs, worker safety, social responsibility, traceability, and control improvement. Our objective is to help agricultural organizations understand sustainability requirements and integrate them into their operations and supply chains. Now, organic regulations and compliance. For organizations involved in international organic markets, regulatory knowledge is extremely important. URGS can provide professional programs covering applicable organic regulations and requirements related to production, processing, documentation, traceability, labeling, import and export activities, certification, and audit preparation. Understanding these requirements can help organizations reduce compliance risks and improve their preparedness for customer, regulatory, and certification assessments. Then, responsible purchasing. Sustainability begins with purchasing. Responsible procurement requires organizations to look beyond price and delivery. Organizations increasingly need to evaluate suppliers based on environmental performance, social responsibility, ethical sourcing, traceability, resource utilization, and applicable certifications. URGS provides training and consultancy support related to responsible purchasing and sustainable procurement. Our programs can help purchasing professionals understand supplier evaluation, supplier risks, sustainability criteria, responsible sourcing, and the integration of sustainability into procurement decisions. Then next is sustainable supply chains. A company's sustainability performance is strongly influenced by its supply chain. Raw materials may come from multiple suppliers and different geographical regions. Therefore, organizations need greater visibility of supplier practices, materials origins, traceability, environmental risks, social risks, certification status, responsible sourcing, and supply chain performance. URGS can support organizations in developing awareness and systems for sustainable and responsible supply chain management. Our objective is to help organizations to make the supply chains more transparent, responsible, and resilient. Environmental claims and greenwashing prevention. Environmental communication has become increasingly important. Today, companies use terms such as eco-friendly, natural, organic, sustainable, recycled, recyclable, environmentally responsible. However, environmental claims must be credible and appropriately supported. URGS provides professional awareness and training related to environmental claims, responsible communication, and greenwashing prevention. Participants can develop an understanding of environmental terminology, supporting evidence, product claims, labels, certification-related communication, and responsible marketing practices. This is particularly relevant for marketing teams, product managers, regulatory professionals, quality departments, and senior management. The objective is simple: communicate sustainability accurately, transparently, and responsibly. Sustainable and organic cosmetics. The demand for natural and sustainable cosmetic products continues to grow. Cosmetic companies need to consider the sustainability of their ingredients, raw materials, manufacturing processes, packaging, and supply chains. URGS provides professional training and consultancy-oriented solutions covering sustainable and organic cosmetics. Topics may include natural and organic cosmetic principles, raw material selection, ingredient requirements, formulation, sustainable sourcing, packaging, labeling, traceability, certification requirements, audit preparation, and responsible environmental communication. These programs can benefit cosmetic manufacturers, brands, R&D professionals, regulatory teams, quality professionals, and marketing departments. Now, sustainable detergents and home care products. Sustainability is also increasingly important in detergents and home care products. Organizations need to consider raw materials, renewable resources, formulations, environmental impact, packaging, product claims, traceability, and responsible sourcing. URGS can support companies through training related to sustainable detergents and home care products, helping teams understand the environmental and sustainability considerations applicable to their products and processes. Sustainable textiles. The textile and apparel sector is undergoing significant sustainability transformation. Modern textile organizations increasingly need to consider organic fibers, recycled fibers, responsible sourcing, chemical management, water consumption, energy efficiency, waste reduction, recycling, worker welfare, supply chain transparency, and traceability. URGS provides professional training and consultancy-oriented support for organizations seeking to strengthen their understanding of sustainable textile practices and applicable requirements. These programs can benefit textile manufacturers, garment manufacturers, exporters, brands, retailers, purchasing professionals, and supply chain teams. Then, food quality and food safety. Sustainability may always be supported by strong quality and food safety practices. URGS provides professional training and consultancy solutions related to food quality, food safety, and product integrity. Important areas include food safety management, hygiene, process controls, traceability, supplier controls, documentation, risk management, internal auditing, corrective actions, and certification readiness. These programs are relevant to food manufacturers, processors, agricultural organizations, exporters, importers, and retailers. Now, fair trade and social responsibility. Sustainability is not only about the environment, it is also about people. Responsible business practices involve ethical sourcing, social responsibility, worker welfare, responsible supplier relationships, and transparency throughout the value chain. URGS provides professional awareness and training related to fair trade principles, responsible sourcing, and social responsibility. The objective is to help organizations understand how social considerations can be incorporated into responsible business practices and supply chain management. Corporate social responsibility (CSR). Corporate social responsibility is becoming an integral part of modern corporate strategy. CSR can cover an organization's responsibilities towards employees, customers, suppliers, communities, the environment, and wider society. URGS can support organizations in developing CSR awareness and implementation capabilities. Our programs can address CSR strategy, stakeholder expectations, environmental responsibilities, social objectives, ethical business practices, community engagement, employee awareness, performance measurement, reporting, and control and improvement. Now, ESG, environmental, social, and governance. ESG has become one of the most important concepts in modern business. Environmental considerations can include climate change, emissions, energy, water, waste pollution, biodiversity, and resource efficiency. Social considerations can include employees' health and safety, human rights, communities, labor practices, and supply chain responsibility. Governance can include ethics, compliance, risk management, leadership, transparency, accountability, and corporate decision making. URGS provides professional ESG awareness and competency development programs designed to help organizations understand these three dimensions and integrate them into their business strategies and operational processes. The next is climate change and decarbonization. Climate change presents significant risks and opportunities for organizations. Companies increasingly need to understand climate risks, carbon emissions, energy consumption, decarbonization, climate adaptation, resource efficiency, operational resilience, and sustainable business models. URGS can support organizations through professional training and consultancy-oriented programs covering climate-related awareness, risk identification, carbon reduction concepts, and sustainability strategies. The objective is to help organizations understand how climate considerations can be incorporated into strategic and operational decision-making. Biodiversity. Biodiversity is another important component of sustainability. Agriculture, forestry, food production, and many industrial activities depend directly or indirectly on natural ecosystems. Organizations therefore need to understand their impact and dependency on biodiversity and natural resources. URGS can provide awareness and professional training covering biodiversity risks, ecosystem protection, responsible resource utilization, and integration of biodiversity considerations into sustainability strategies. Circular economy. Traditional business models often follow a linear approach: take, make, use, and dispose. The circular economy promotes a different approach. Organizations can focus on reduce, reuse, repair, recover, recycle, and redesign. Circular economy principles can influence product development, material selection, packaging, manufacturing, purchasing, waste management, and supply chain strategies. URGS can support organizations in understanding and implementing circular economy concepts relevant to their business operations. Sustainable materials. Materials have a significant impact on environmental performance. Organizations increasingly need to evaluate material origin, renewable resources, recycled content, recyclability, material efficiency, waste generation, packaging, product life cycle, and environmental impact. URGS provide professional training and consultancy-oriented support related to sustainable materials and responsible material selection. Organic farming inputs. Organic agriculture also depends on appropriate cultural inputs. Manufacturers and suppliers of organic farming inputs need to understand applicable requirements relating to raw materials, product composition, documentation, traceability, contamination risks, organic suitability, labeling, and regulatory requirements. URGS can support organizations involved in agricultural inputs through professional training and compliance-oriented guidance. Traceability. One of the most important requirements across sustainable supply chains is traceability. Organizations need to know where materials originate, who supplies them, how products are processed, what controls are applied, and whether applicable requirements are being maintained. Traceability is particularly important for organic products, food, textiles, cosmetics, agricultural products, raw materials, and responsible sourcing programs. URGS can support organizations in understanding traceability principles and establishing appropriate systems and controls. Sustainability strategy and implementation. Traceability is only the first step. Organizations also need to implement what they have learned. URGS can support organizations through gap assessment, requirement identification, risk assessment, policy development, procedure development, implementation guidance, employee awareness, supplier evaluation, performance monitoring, internal audit preparation, corrective action guidance, and certification readiness support. Our objective is to help organizations transform sustainability requirements into practical systems and measurable improvements. Now, customized corporate training. Every organization has different requirements. A food manufacturer has different sustainability challenges from a textile manufacturer. A cosmetic company has different requirements from an agricultural exporter. A purchasing department has different training needs from an ESG team. Therefore, URGS can develop customized corporate training program based on industry, products, processes, supply chains, applicable requirements, regulatory requirements, and organizational objectives. Training can be delivered through suitable formats including online programs, classroom sessions, and customized corporate training depending on organizational requirements. Certification readiness. Certification can provide independent recognition when an organization meets the requirements of an applicable standard or certification program. However, successful certification requires preparation. Organizations need to understand applicable requirements, documentation, records, operational controls, traceability, employee responsibilities, supplier requirements, internal verification, audit evidence, non-conformity management, and control improvement. URGS provides training, consultancy, gap assessment, implementation guidance, and certification readiness support to help organizations prepare their people and systems for applicable requirements. Its last final message: sustainability is no longer a separate activity. It is becoming an integral part of modern business. From organic agriculture to sustainable agriculture, from responsible purchasing to sustainable supply chains, from environmental claims to greenwashing prevention, from sustainable cosmetics to sustainable textiles, from food quality and safety to fair trade, from CSR to ESG, from climate change and biodiversity to circular economy, from sustainable materials to traceability, and from training to implementation and certification readiness. URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited is committed to helping organizations and professionals build the knowledge, competence, and systems required for responsible and sustainable business growth. Whether you are manufacturer, exporter, importer, agriculture organization, food company, cosmetic manufacturer, textile company, retailer, supplier, sustainability professional, quality professional, auditor, consultant, or senior management professional, URGS can support your professional development and organizational sustainability objectives. Our approach is based on professional training, practical knowledge, industry relevance, implementation support, audit readiness, and control improvement. For professional training, consultancy, implementation, and certification readiness support, contact URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited. Our email ID is info@urgsiso.com. Our mobile number is +91 7359458455. Build your team's competence, strengthen your organization systems, improve your sustainability performance, and prepare your business for the future. URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited. Building competence, strengthening compliance, supporting sustainable business. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more professional content on ISO standards, management systems, auditing, certification, inspection, sustainability, and professional training. Thank you.